Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Age of Empires 4 replay. Spawn bottom right side is the green Mongols, we got ranked opponents. Spawn top left side is the yellow French, we got VES, Anotand. This is a hybrid map, which does include 4 deep sea fishies on each of these 4 lakes. So, it is technically a hybrid map, but also hybrid map also indicates it's going to be combat at sea, more just hybrid economy. Mongols, is he going for a spearman rush? We do have the barracks going on up, we got the oboe now deployed in the field. And yeah, we'll be collecting some sheep, and we'll be able to spot the barracks relatively soon. French, of course, can just pull out spearman, engage the spearman. That pretty much sums up how he can defend himself, or just try to hold down, try to lock down with playing on the town center. We do have now this dock deployed in the field, can't get any arrow ships to defend, so it's probably best for the Mongol player to, rather than trying to he's going to try to collect the gold quickly, try to get enough gold to age up. The Mongol player can either try to interrupt the gold collection, preventing the age up, or make his way over to the dock to prevent the fishies. Both are a valid option, I would say, right now. It looks like the spearmen are heading towards the dock now. Deletes the mining camp there to prevent the raid bounty. He probably has enough gold. Yep, there we go. When it comes to these deep sea fish, 2 is the soft cap of how many fishing boats you want to put on a deep sea fish. 3, I think, is an optimal amount. Then you can start withdrawing from the 1,000. Or you start trading pretty quick, and don't go for 5 per deep sea fish. You want to probably go for 3 here, and with the extra distance 4, 4, and maybe 5. Just don't go for too many fishing boats, so you drain that pretty quickly. Though there is a decent amount of shore fish if you do drain the deep sea fish relatively quickly. School of Cavalry now being deployed on the field, which is basically standard. Looks like Yellow's trying to herd these deer to the town center. It's like herding cats. Not very easy. More spearmen pushing over here. Going to have 5 spearmen engage this dock. And he's currently not building any more fishing boats at the moment. Green's now establishing his own dock as well. Is placing more in the center. I wonder if it's the Khan trying to corral? Nope. Looks like on another little scouting run. Yep, looks like just scouting out the map. School of Cavalry now deployed in the field, immediately going for an airship. Airships are incredibly powerful. Oh yeah, I forgot the French has the Royal Shipyards capability to get plus 10 population for building a dock. So this dock costing 150 is also gives you 100 wood rebate in form of population space, making it easier for the French to transition onto the water. Does the dock ablaze? Can probably let it burn down. Airship getting some good shore bombardment. Does destroy the dock entirely. Of course, one can be reestablished. And also, speaking of which, now he's at pop capped. So, I said it gave a bit of rebate. It's also now, in this particular situation, a little bit of double-edged sword. The Mongol player is now aging up, going for the deer stones, will give him access to the early Yam network research, as well as the Khan's hunters, which makes Magadai from generally not useful to relatively okay, but still not particularly great. Outposting established here, not big surprise, has a handful of defensive spearmen. Got a offensive horseman rather than royal knight. Pier stone's almost complete. Has reestablished a dock here. Some hits there on these villagers. Try and go for another mining camp. Archers being deployed in the field. Very nice. Spearmen push way forward. Takes off one of the spearmen there. Villagers backing on off. Takes a little bit of damage there. And now I got the hardened spearmen there for the Mongols. Giving them a little bit extra health to work with. Spearmen moving around. Local doggo gains some bites there. Now the stable now deployed in the field, and another stable being deployed in the field as well. You only need one stable next to the elbow. You're generally not going to have a big float of stone. Right now can't afford a ×2 horsemen, but not necessarily ×2 Keshik. And you probably can start pulling out some pastures over here. One or two can give you a decent amount of sheep in reserve. But of course, most players are going to start pursuing these fishing boats to get up all the fishies. We do now have some Keshiks on the build queue. Nobody's eyeing a second lake to get some food. Arrow ship here, a nice little patrol move to protect that shoreline. Archers there, got another Royal Knight. And now got the hardened spearman research now for the French. Need to spread out some of these fishing boats, send some to these other deep sea fish, because this is going to be rapidly being drained. Scout almost goes down, probably just keep that back a little bit. Archers push forward, gets a bit of volley there on one of the villagers. Don't have textiles. Keshiks push way forward, a good number of Keshiks has a couple spearmen. But there's enough units here to overwhelm those spearmen, no problem. Some of the spearmen are being picked off by those archers. Spearmen being leashed back into formation, giving them extra mobility. Got now a +1 range damage now being researched by the Mongol player. Nice little spear brace there. And gets impaled in retaliation. Catches here in good numbers. Needs to get out some more Royal Knights and Spearmen. Mongol Spearmen looks like overall hitting not really the various cavalry units, and Yellow's doing a great job of focusing down those Spearmen. Those two Royal Knights are still alive. Now just some Keshiks and the Khan himself still alive. Arrows on cooldown. Also in range damage now on the way of the French players, also going for the extended lines. And now we've got the Whistling Arrow research. Very nice. And it is just a regular Whistling Arrow. It is a technology I think Mongol players need to go for more often. This is an incredibly powerful upgrade. Going from 5 seconds to 10 seconds is quite massive, and the improved upgrade is worth the stone, going to 12 seconds. And of course make it a little bit reliable casting by having a bit of a larger radius. It makes, because most conflicts are usually determined within the first initial engagement, and able to give yourself 12 seconds rather than 5 seconds of the initial engagement is incredibly powerful. Keshik's just idle up there. +1 range armor now on the way for the French. The Mongols doesn't have any range units on the field, barring the Khan himself. Over here. I suppose still be useful resisting the emplacement damage and defensive fire, which is always pose a threat. Royal Knight could it be picked off there? Could use the whistling arrow to make these guys catch up. He has 10 seconds of now absurdly high movement speed as well. So talk about hit and runs. He puts more emphasis on the run part though. Royal Knight does go down there. This Keshik does manage to escape on out of there with 3 health remaining. This archer does get a hit there, but due to its higher armor, does manage to resist it. And the little bit of lifesteal it has. Yellow's not pushed way over here as well. Keshik's trying to counterattack, but we've got too many Royal Knights and a handful of Spearmen here. I don't think it'll go great for green. But it looks like the Royal Knights are not engaging. The Spearmen will be discarded. And green's getting more and more reinforced deployed in the field. A couple of these Keshiks are very, very wounded. Royal Knights seem like a decent charge there. And the Keshiks are out here in more and more large numbers. Looks like the Khan has... no, the Khan's still alive. Oh, the Khan's just right there. Probably could use a speed arrow there to really pursue these Royal Knights. Trying to torch down this outpost. Try and crack it open and get to the delicious villagers inside. Nice, soft and chewy villagers. Does get on out of there. Trying to fall back there. Does torch down the outpost, but that's about it. Handful of Mongol archers are on the field. So it's trying to make a little bit of transition towards them. Does have +1 range damage now for them. Khans Hunter, of course, can improve their range, make them a little bit more effective. And neither player has gone for a second lake so far. The Mongol player needs to split up his fishing boats. He's starting to. See, this deep sea fish has been greatly withdrawn. Before it runs out, you got to make sure only 2 fishing boats are onto it, or else then you have to just wait for it to resupply and then come back to it later. Keshiks move around, trying to engage these villagers. Of course, got Royal Knights here for defense. They'll just get a bit of a shank there. Couple archers there. Got this force up north. Got more Keshiks here. So let me whittle down by these archers. Not too many spearmen are here on the field for yellow. He needs to get out more spearmen. Keshik's charging way forward. Ovo's been depleted. He does have 230 stone in reserve. Does use a speed arrow there, not the attack speed arrow for the archers. Try and close in distance. Able to close in this distance. Speed arrow has now subsided. Some of the green archers being focused down. Keshiks are slowly being whittled down. The Khan is still alive. But overall, green will lose the fight. It looks like green will lose his entire army there. Got slightly better of destroy value for yellow, but it's relatively marginal. 1,000 is important, but can easily change with another good engagement for green. Khan has gone down, but since the whistling arrow's on cooldown, it's not a big issue. Got now chivalry being established. Not really wounded knights would make good use of it. It was always a good idea to get that sooner rather than later. The Mongol player almost has enough gold to age up. Needs a lot more food to age on up. The French player is far from both. Is scraping bottom barrel both in food and gold. And wood is not exactly too high as well. Keshik's charging way forward. Let's see, the Mongol player could either go for the Separate Out or for the Kurultai. The Kurultai is a powerful offensive and defensive structure, but also the Stepper Dow could increase his gold income by 50%, which is quite significant, providing plus 50% drop off. Also makes what gold inside his map last even longer. So there's an argument for both. It's at this point in time of the player's discretion. You can do a bit of trading this map. The trading post is just gotta get another counterpart over here. Be very exposed to the Mongol player, and at least the French player could always get the walls up. Mongols can't, so it's probably a bad idea to go eye for trade in the late game, so maybe better for the Mongol player to go for the steppered out. Also, if he goes for our fast cascades, you really probably should get those relics to get that passive gold income. Plus, when you get Type R, it gives you a bit of passive stone income as well. And since trade's not a really big possibility, the Cognitive Palace may be better for an Age 4 landmark. Not only provides you of unit value, it provides you about 800 resources per minute value, but also means you don't have to the White Stupa of Stone for all the extra defense plates. It's not super feasible. Royal Knights now engaging those archers. Kesh is trying to finish off some of these archers. Does find some villagers, but I think the archers will take out the rest. Mongol archers get some good focus firing there onto these Royal Knights. All the spearmen have gone down. Nope, these are all archers. No reinforced spearmen. Single Keshik here to provide a bit of breathing room. Got the Khan and a couple Keshiks there. No spearmen on the build queue for the Mongols, nor spearmen on the build queue for the French. So they're keeping their compositions quite similar. Got the archer, got the spearmen, and got the heavy cavalry. Just that now they both agree not to pull out spearmen. Let's see now. You're now textiles being researched by Yellow. Speed arrow now deployed in the field, giving 10 seconds of higher mobility. But the French player has just deployed too many archers here to engage. Mongol player does have more military force in the field. Has 26 for 21 archers. Many more Keshiks. Only 4 Royal Knights. Green maybe could even win that fight, but it'll be a Pyrrhic victory if he does win the fight. And of course, the reinforcements are another matter. Green has to go across the entire map for reinforcements, while Yellow's is on the front line. Green seems like a better position there with his archers now. Gains some good volleys. Gable gets some free damage on those Royal Knights. Good focus firing there. Green's now falling back. Got more catches pushed way forward. The Mongol player and the French player both have some amount of gold stockpile. The Mongol player could make better use of a faster castleways than his opponent, because it will grant immediate access to the defense arrow, which +2/+2 armor for 10 seconds would make a lot of his units bulletproof. That would be quite important. Yellow's now falling back, taking severe losses on 24 units, 40 versus 40 units. As for reinforcing archers here, getting a nice little flank there. Kesh just pursuing these units. Let those Kesh just pursue those units, and he can just spend time to micro these forces, but right now he has nothing to buffer against the trickle of Royal Knights that are popping out. Airship could provide some shore bombardment relatively soon. Or more fishing boats. Right now they have similar civilian counts. The French do build villagers faster, but the Mongols then doing a good job of calling those extra villagers. Looks like the French player has stabilized. Now got the Kurl type being blown in the field, so we're not going to see the stepper out. Then I would still select to see the Cognitive Palace. For the French player, I think the Guild Hall would be a little bit better. Don't think he can really make usage of the Royal Bloodlines is very powerful, but it doesn't really have a way to really get that ball going right now since he's already pretty behind numbers. Got ×2 Kesh could be employed in the field, so he redeploys OVO to right there. It is a 2400 OVO. The Mongol player should really try to grab those relics, that's for sure. But then again, whoever goes for castaways should really try to get relics in general. Got another veteran Keshik, veteran archers, which makes sense. He can also manually deploy in some crossbowmen. And right now, man-at-arms wouldn't be half bad. Looks like the French player's lord.agion up. Let's see, does go for the Royal Institute. Try and go for a bit more quality for his Royal Knights overall. Oh, thank you for the follow, JD. Welcome to the stream. Was I clicking on some venison here? And green has actually expanded out to another fish deposit. So has yellow. Yellow's gotten there a bit quicker, but I would say still split up the fishing boats. You gotta preserve the fish deposits. Veteran archer, veteran royal knight, that makes sense. We're probably going to see some arbaletiers. Yep, I got some arbaletiers. No crossbowmen for the Mongol player. I'm so surprised we also have not seen any column centers to help improve the range of these archers. A little bit extra range does go a long way. Particularly makes the arrows go a longer way. +1 range armor being researched by the French player. The Mongol player is not going for any additional blacksmith research, so probably get the +1 range damage. And also going to make use of the +1 range armor. Pearl Tide now deployed on the front line. Green's going to try to close the game immediately. No siege engineers, or improved siege engineers. Improved engineers wouldn't be half bad for some forward deployment of mangonels, since the French are known for going for a good number of arbaletiers, and plus he already sees a good number of archers on the field. Pearl Tide deployed in a very tenuous position, giving these guys also plus 20% damage, as well as a bit of health care. Got the arrow deployed on the field. Royal Knights do not have the Royal Bloodlines researched. The extra fire speed of the arrows has subsided. The con has gone down, minor loss at this point in time. Royal Knight's got a number of villager kills there. The villager count is even once again. And Kolotai is packed on up and making out of there. Doesn't appear to... I think he does have superior mobility. He does have superior mobility, just not improved superior mobility. Of course, with the last big balance patch, the raid bounty research has been reduced, so it's a little bit more easier to get good value from it. Beforehand, you needed to torch 7 buildings, and now you just need to torch 3, 4 or 5 buildings. 4, or I guess pay for itself. It's shouldn't. If you go for raid bounties, it's better to go for improved raid bounties, since it allows you to convert stone into other resources. Spearman there does not have the hardened or the veteran spearman research yet, does he? +2 range damage now being researched by green. Yellow's going for Royal Bloodlines, the Gambesons, and the Mine Shaft. Got a pair of spring golden placements here. We do have right now 11 villagers there, so one of these villagers will draw the short straw, trying to get inside those garrisons. Got a good number of pastures on the field, 6 so far. That can support up to, what, 18 villagers at the moment? Thank you for the follow, ESL Matthias 999. Welcome to the stream. We do now have, looks like the Royal Knights engages with more of these villagers. And this is a secondary town center. I didn't realize the Mongol player deployed a secondary town center. Some of these villagers are getting picked on off. Crossbowmen or arbaletiers engaging in various structures. More of these villagers going down. Couple spear braces there. Get some good hits. On the left side, looks like some hits there. Wolo conversion ritual does avoid it. And looks like these villagers may be cracked open. It'll be a sizable loss. You may want to use a speed arrow to get over here. Looks like one villager escapes out of there. If you use a defense arrow, some sort of arrow, the Khan's about to go down. Khan goes down without firing off an arrow. That's a bit of an oversight. Royal Knights charging way forward, trying to get some good connections. Right now, Green has Army 52, has a higher value as well. Keswick's charging way forward. Structure's going down. I think I heard the Kurultai maybe redeployed. Yellow has a good number of villagers on this gold. Very, very risky. Want to keep there. 45 villagers. That's not enough room for all those villagers. It's a bit of a risky play pushing those villagers forward like that. Does have a bit of gold back here as reserve. You can see here, this deep water fish was fully consumed. Now there are long distances gathering over there. We got now the veteran spearman and the veteran horseman research now from the Mongol player. Very nice. Which also implies he also researched the regular horseman upgrade. Various economic research and canted saddles for the French player. On the left side, we do have these villagers being pursued. The Royal Knights getting some slices in there. Kesha's going to be falling on back now. We do have some of these outposts being torched on down. So on torch on the keep, the good old-fashioned way. Probably does not have extra torches research. Khan has been redeployed here. Got some horsemen to stop these Royal Knights. Nothing much of anything else. Counts as a fully garrison. He does have +2 range damage, which is counted out by the +2 range armor, so no additional defensive capability. Crossbowmen entering melee range, so it's not a good idea. Archers and crossbowmen. Horseman does go down there. Up north, we got some of these villagers getting gunned down by these crossbowmen. Royal Knights heading up over here. Good number of green units go down. Right now, green has 100 villagers versus 98, so very similar. Close enough at this point in time. And right now, yellow has a much higher destroyed value, so yellow's taking better and better engagements. Green's now down to 93 villagers. The last of these bears have been cleaned on up. Got a gear here who failed to redeploy, so these villagers are going to be long distance collecting. Crossbowman putting some rounds into the Royal Knight and trying to capture or decapture the sacred site for a brief moment. Crossbowmen being pursued. We got a good number of these forces pushed forward, archers and crossbowmen, or arbiteers, I should say. He's having trouble redeploying fields. He needs a lot more food at the moment. Going for some outposts. See, 7 pastures, 19 villagers, so that seems about right. Only has 1 level of economic upgrade. Siege engineers now being researched by yellow. We're gonna try to close the game. It looks like the Mongol player has claimed 4 relics. Very nice. Very nice push way forward. The Mongol player is lacking a decent amount of cavalry, only has a couple horsemen and a Keshik. Has decent amount of defensive placement there. Does go for the defensive arrow, giving his units +2/+2 armor, which makes them pretty resilient to the archer fire, who are doing 9 damage. Horseman was at 7 armor. A lot of defensive arrows firing away. Khan does go down, but since the arrows have been consumed, minor loss. Crossbowmen started stepping away. Archer's going to be slowly whittled down by all the defensive placement. Villagers getting out of there. Mongol player has enough gold to Agion up. Going for more crossbowmen. More Roar Knights being brought in. More of these archers being cleaned on up. He also has a higher destroy value. And also a much higher army value in the field. Green right now only has an army of 6 units in the field. Going for more crossbowmen. Green has held off the assault. We're now down by 11 villagers. Got now keep here, so starting to get enlistment incentives. But not enlistment incentives, the cost reduction aura. The enlistment incentives just simply improves that aura. And now I've got an arrow ship deployed out by Green. He never deployed out an arrow ship to police the shoreline. So Green will now have to start fighting on the water. Both sides probably have no ship upgrades. Couple spring gold in place here. Kurultai here as well. The Kurultai could have been very useful as a defensive placement. Kurultai probably should pack on up and get on out of there. Villagers migrating down to these berries. He's getting a little bit desperate on food. Trying to click up all the berries on the map. Go for more pastures. If you ever want to try to get the sheep deployed inside the, or rally inside like the little border, how you can do it is you squeeze one sheep along the side, then order all your pastures to rally to that single sheep, and that way they get inside a bit more close to the edge of the border. Additionally, I always recommend you keep at least 1 tile space between your town center and your pastures, so they don't have weird cases where they just run around. Some of these villagers may go down, clicking up some venison. Got some crossbowmen here for defense, but they're focused on the horsemen first. And the Kurultai is getting some health regen. These guys need to head down south. Now they are. Villagers here may go down. These little crossbows for defense. Got a fire ship on the field as well. Got a spring gold ship engaging over here. Horseman over here. And now do you have... Ooh, that's a red palace. Let's look, the yellow one try to close the game with the red palace. And the red palace will be able to do some decent strong damage to those structures since it has a base damage of 60 per arbalist. It will rip apart structures. Additionally, if they try to pack them, get out of there, the packed up units have no inherent range armor, so they will also get easily one-shotted. Bringing out a large number of villagers there. He's going to try to win the game with the red palace. Kurultai over here, having trouble redeploying. He's redeployed back here. Got defense arrow here, very nice. The red palace will be built. There's just way too many villagers here. Garrison up entirely with villagers. And it will probably win yellow the game right there. He's going to need trebuchets to deal with it. Banograms are not from super great. And he does have improved siege engineer, so he can pull out some forward traction trebuchets. And it looks like the Kurultai gets trapped there. The Kurultai can also provide those traction trebuchets additional damage, so him losing the Kurultai is very important. Pack up these structures. See that horseman goes down. Takes the gear, and looks like hitting some of these other structures. Didn't hit any of the packed up units. I wonder if these guys are sort of bugged right there. Looks like yellow and green idle at the moment. Horsemen engaging these villagers. And now got the elite horseman upgrade as well, the French. Siege engineer, traction trebuchet is now deployed in the field. Observation post is getting ripped apart. Look, that's just an arrow slit one. This is the spring gold one. Traction trebuchet is now firing away. They are the weaker version of a regular trebuchet, of the counterweight trebuchet, but they are cheaper and have higher attack speed. Villagers nearby for repairs, and it will take wood to repair rather than stone because it is a landmark. This is bugging out pretty bad because when it gets in a destroyed state with the packed up units, it will try to deploy. And now got a Karak, a warship deployed in the field. That's I win button at C. Horsemen engaging these villagers. Elite Horseman getting some good damage to the villagers. Green's at 92. I don't think Green cracked 100 villagers this game, though I wasn't paying close enough attention for that. 3 traction trebuchets engaging away. The Red Palace is down to half health. It's going to need more repairs. Horseman's going to charge way forward. It'd be a good idea. Going for Mangonel. There's Kurultai. Does manage to deploy itself into a smoldering ruin. Does use the defense arrow there, very nice. And some of these guys do get too close to Red Palace, you can rip apart there. Some of these, good enough of the traction trebuchets are just getting ripped apart. They'll just try and repair the traction trebuchet, but preventing from escaping. Got Ovo down here, both next to a blacksmith for the improved research. Red Palace have been repaired up a decent amount, going for enlistment incentives now. Improving the economic benefits of the French by 5%. And Green does back of the game now. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.